to MMAOddsBreaker. This week we're talking to Joe Schilling, getting ready to fight Melvin Manhoef, coming up here in Bellator down in San Diego, November 15th. That's this weekend. Of course, you can watch the fight on Spike TV. Let's talk about Melvin. What was your initial reaction when you got the offer for this fight?
I was really excited about it. It took me about 2 seconds to agree to the fight. I thought it was a great matchup and a really good opponent for me to come back to MMA for.
Kogan is your manager, correct, Mike Kogan?
Yes.
And so, do you know what the process was for him dealing with the offer of the fight and what he was going to do with it? Did he spend a lot of time milling around, deciding different opponents, or was it one of those where he got the phone call, he called you immediately, and then within an hour of him getting offered the fight, you had already accepted it?
I think it went like that. We knew that Bellator was interested in me for a while, and it was really came down to timing and possible opponents. And they had offered some fights. They offered me a fight a couple months prior, but I was still doing some stuff with Glory and had some injuries I was working on from Last Man Standing. And this one, they said, "Hey, how about Melvin Manhoef, November 15th on the big card?" Absolutely, So it was kind of a no-brainer for us.
Did the fact that Tito and Stephan and Michael Chandler and Will Brooks title fight is on this card as well, did that influence your opinion at all, or is Melvin Manhoef one of those guys that you want to fight in MMA?
Melvin Manhoef is the type of opponent that was perfect for me for MMA, and the type of guy that I wanted to fight. It was kind of a fight that I wanted to have happen in Last Man Standing. He's a big name and a guy I respect, so that was a fight that was intriguing to me then. And then having it in MMA was great. Obviously, if they would have offered me a Division I All-American wrestler, I would have been a more hesitant fight for me. But me and Melvin's a super exciting fight. Styles make fights, and this is a great one on a big show. So it's really good.
You said it as I was talking to you before we started the interview. I said, "Hey, how are things going?" Whatever. And you're like, "Hey, it's a nice hotel." But it's a hotel. It's another day on the road for a fight. It's another week on the road for a fight. Hotel rooms are hotel rooms. It could be Motel 8 for the hell that we know, and you'd still be okay in it. But take us through the week of the fight. Today, it's Wednesday right now. You're going to make weight here in a couple of days, and then you've got a fight on Saturday. What's it like for these next couple of days getting ready for this fight?
This morning I had to do a interview, on-camera interview. Here at 5:30 I have a photo shoot, and 6 I have another photo shoot. My coach just came. I just had lunch. Let's really just kick back. After all the photo shoots are done, we'll go work out a little bit and get a sweat and just get my, I don't really work real hard the last week of the fight. Right. I just try and stay sharp. I want to make sure that I feel good all the time. And that, I feel like, my game plan and everything is good. My body feels good. So it's just a lot of that. And then, hanging out in the hotel room. I'm not a big fan of wandering around the hotel and seeing your opponent and all that stuff. It's not really my thing. So try to hang out in the hotel room and, might go for a run tonight. But it's really just trying to make yourself feel good,
What's your diet like? In a hotel, it's always tough to get, if you eat super clean, it's always tough to get super clean foods. Are you a super clean eater?
Right now, I just had a chicken salad, and it'll be pretty low carb until the fight. I have about 15, 16 pounds to cut. So most of that'll happen on tomorrow, around between 5 o'clock tomorrow and 5 o'clock on Friday. Ordinarily, I try to eat, I don't eat junk food, but I'm not really strict on my diet. When I was fighting at Muay Thai at 175 pounds, and then, before that at 168 pounds, I had to eat really strict, and I was really low carb all the time. It was miserable. It's a miserable life,
Yeah.
So I try to eat, eat. I don't eat junk food too much, but I like to eat when I'm hungry,
Yeah. Now, you say like 15, 16 pounds to cut. You're going to start it, 24 hours before. You'll start Thursday night.
Yeah.
Wake up Friday morning. What do you want to? Are you one of those guys that likes to wake up on weight Friday morning, or are you going to have to still cut half the weight come Friday morning too?
No, I'm one of those guys that Thursday night at like 5 in the morning is like sneaking and taking an ice cube and usually screws it up. So I'm usually okay if I'm like 2 or 3 pounds away the day of the weigh-in, and it's usually always the last pound. And mad at myself. Why did I eat that banana last night? Why did I do that? Sort of thing. But I've one thing throughout my career is I've found an ability to find comfort in chaos. When things go wrong in a fight camp, it used to really freak me out. When you get sick a couple weeks before the fight, it used to be the worst thing in the world. When you get an injury, you're like, oh God, what am I gonna? I can't believe this. And now it's like, I'm used to waking up feeling stupid for drinking that glass of water in the middle of the night. I'm used to having a cold going into a fight. I'm used to having the injury, and that's just part of experience, and I feel good with it.
Obviously, you spent a lot of time in kickboxing. Which one are you trying to make a full-time transfer in MMA and spend a lot more time with the other arts, or are you going to keep bouncing back and forth between, kickboxing and MMA?
It's I would hate to give up kickboxing forever because it's something I've devoted so much of my life to. But I was talking to my fiance the other night, and it sounds kind of arrogant. I almost don't even want to say it, but I've got 2 WBC world titles in Muay Thai. I have I was a Glory Tournament world champion. I was the only American to win a combat global tournament. I don't really feel like I have a whole lot motivating me other than money for kickboxing right now.
Okay.
There's not that next, winning the Glory belt and beating Artem Levin again it's a financial thing to me. It's not, it's not something that really motivates me. And throughout this training camp and for a while now, training MMA, it was like, oh, I need to learn this ground stuff because if I want to do MMA, that's what I need to do. And now it seems like this training camp, it was like, this is kind of fun. This is a new challenge for me. It's something new for me. So I think I could make a real, deliberate run at MMA. And I think that had a lot to do with the why now kind of thing. Before it was like, oh, I could do MMA to make some money. And this time around, it was like it's an opponent that I'm really excited about. It's a show that's really exciting to me, and then I have like this new challenge in front of me that I'm kind of into it. So I think I might make a real run at that. It'd be nice to have, a Bellator world title in that case with all those other ones.
I'm going through my show notes, and is it true the last time you fought MMA was 2008? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's been a little bit since you've been in
Yeah, it's been a while.
And you didn't do very well when you were there. I mean, let's be honest. You went 1-4, 1-3. Am I correct?
1-3.
Okay,
yeah.
So you weren't dedicated to it, and obviously you've had a great run since then coming through with kickboxing. Making that transfer across now, and like you said, all of a sudden, like, hey, this ground game stuff is kind of fun to me. Let's try and figure it out and make a good run at it. Mm-hmm. You're 30 years old, right?
Yep. 30.
Plenty of time. You're not. There's no rush. Like, I'm 38. I got to hurry up and get this done. I'm gonna fall apart. Right. You actually have a lot of time to learn the ground game. Have you started searching out different ground guys throughout your area, or are you just sticking with one guy right now, or how are you kind of learning your ground game?
Well, over the years, I've been brought in as a training partner for a lot of the high-level MMA guys. 5 years ago, I was down at Team Quest pretty regularly, sparring with guys like Dan Henderson and Terry Sokaju and all of those guys. And then, I've been brought in for the Nick Diaz camps for the last, for a couple of years now. I was working with Jiva Santana, Team Oyama in Irvine. I was doing jiu-jitsu under him for about a year. And, you get kind of burnt out between kickboxing fights, but you want to stay in shape. You start doing jiu-jitsu a little bit, and you're working with all these different people in their fight camps. It's amazing how much stuff you can learn from, and pick up. I was working with Mark Munoz for his fight with Musasi. Mm-hmm. Throughout the years, I've worked with a lot of really high-level guys, and I've picked up a lot of stuff. So it's I was working with Kron Gracie for this fight, and I was up in Stockton with Nick and Nate Diaz, so.
And they suck at submissions. They're horrible.
So yeah, they're terrible, right?
That was completely useless waste of your time going up there for that.
And like their whole concept and like mindset, their strategies of MMA, it's a complete waste of time.
I know, right? Don't you walk in there and go? Sometimes you go, "Holy crap, really?" Like they open up. You've been competing for a while, and they still throw stuff at you. You're like, "That's brand new." Like, why the hell wasn't I thinking that 4 months ago or 4 years ago?
Right, and it's so basic. Like, why wouldn't I think of that? It's just strategy-wise. Some of the best stuff I've learned from Nick and Nate was just over dinner having a conversation, and you're like, oh, how did I not think about that? It's really
funny. They get a bad rep because of their attitude, but those two kids, when I get either one of them or both at the same time by myself, I have the best conversations, and it's awe-inspiring. Sometimes the words that come out of their mouths, you're like, holy crap! They are so educated on being a true martial artist that they get every little angle of it. have they helped you, even though you're being brought up there because you're a great striker? Have they actually helped you with your striking as well because of their concepts and how they approach fights?
Oh, absolutely. Nick and I are pretty good friends. Nate and I are friends too. I'm closer with Nick, and Nick and I do a lot of things. So we both switch stances when we box and when we kickbox, and Nick's reason behind it's a little different than my reason behind it. So we have a lot of like really cool conversations about why and how, and Nate does some things that are really interesting too. So anytime I train with those guys, whether we're training on the ground or we're training standing or we're just hanging out talking, it's always really inspiring, and yeah, they trigger a lot of thought process in my head.
How was it training with Mark Munoz? You said he brought you in for the Gegard Mousasi fight. How was it going up to that fight? And I thought that Mark was going to give Gegard a much better fight than what actually came out when we saw it. But that's just how fights go. Sometimes you just don't have your night. But how was it training with him? And how was how much wrestling did you pick up from him when you were training with him?
Well, I was really blown away at just how polite and how nice Mark is. I mean, he's one of the nicest guys I've ever met, and like just so willing to help and teach. Even when his own fight camp's going on, he was there. Sometimes at certain gyms you go there and you ask a question, and they're like, "Oh, well, just do it," and I'm like, "Well, I'm having trouble." And they're like, "Well, try harder,"
Yeah,
And Mark not like that at all. Chael wasn't like that at all. The whole team down there was great. Yeah, Mark was. I really expected more. It's sometimes the fight just goes that way, but Mark's head movement improved quite a lot, and his ability to close distance and his stand up got a lot better as well. And he taught me a lot of cool stuff too. And it was really good, not just on like a teaching level, just to be in there with somebody at that level of wrestling and get used to seeing those types of shots and those types of takedowns. And it's more like your physical awareness more so than like
right.
A, B, C. You know what I mean?
All right, Joe. Well, thanks for coming on here, man. I appreciate it. It's like I said, it's Wednesday. It's time to get ready for fight time, and the last thing you want to be doing is interviews and taking pictures. So I appreciate you spending a couple minutes with us. Have fun. I'll be down there. I'm coming in Saturday, so I'll see you after the fights are over. You'll probably see me slapping Mike in the head at some point. So that's how you'll be able to recognize me. So
sounds good.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks for having me on.
You got it, man. I'll talk to you soon, bud.
You got it.